Oh, here we go. Today, voters across 5 states will be casting their ballots in closely watched primary elections. There are a handful of notable races today. Pennsylvania will hold its Senate primaries along with a Republican primary for the state's next governor. In North Carolina, Congressman Ted Budd will look to cash in his endorsement by former President Trump in the state's GOP Senate primary. And freshman Republican Congressman Madison Cawthorn will need to beat a deep field to represent the state of North Carolina once again. He's had a rough few weeks, I'll say. Now we're going to hone in on Pennsylvania, though. Robert Costa has been watching the race for us in Bucks County, which is just north of Philadelphia.
You're going to send Dr. Oz to fight for you in the U.S. Senate?
Today in Pennsylvania, President Trump's power in GOP politics is facing its latest test. The former president-backed celebrity Dr. Mehmet Oz, who's locked in a 3-way race in the state's hotly contested Republican Senate primary.
How will you convince voters in the final days that you are the true Trump candidate?
President Trump, when he endorsed me, said I was smart, tough, and would never let you down.
But Oz is fending off a late surge by conservative commentator Kathy Barnett. Barnett's rise has brought new scrutiny of her record and controversial past statements, which were anti-Muslim and homophobic. As these images emerge that show Barnett in Washington on the day of the January 6 attacks.
I was not with the Proud Boys. I was out there because I wanted to hear what the president had to say.
A campaign spokesman told CBS News Barnett had no connection to the violence that day at the Capitol.
Did former President Trump pick the wrong person in this race?
Absolutely. But listen, he is not Jesus, so he gets to be wrong. And on this, he's wrong.
Still, her rivals, like businessman and former George W. Bush administration official David McCormick, insist she doesn't have the track record to win.
But Kathy's been tested. She was tested in the last 24 months in a congressional seat, which she lost by 20 points.
As for what is motivating Republicans, there is one thing they agree on.
That everything that Trump did, Biden just came in and destroyed. And I'm looking for a turnaround.
Meanwhile, the Democratic frontrunner, Lieutenant Governor John Fetterman, will miss his own election night event. His wife, Giselle, will represent him after he suffered a stroke Friday night.
I just wasn't feeling very well, so I decided, you know what, I need to get checked out, so I went to the hospital.
I need you to get checked out, because I was right, as always.
Yeah, and that's actually the video that they made the day after we found out that he had suffered a stroke. He looks pretty good. There were no cognitive effects at all. And so it looks like it's going to go at least well for him health-wise. He will not be able to attend any of the parties, whether they are celebratory or otherwise, today, though. I think we have Robert Costa standing by. Yes, you are. There you are. All right, let's dig into what is going on in Pennsylvania, because it's really interesting. We had these 2 candidates, one very well known, Mehmet Oz, very well known outside of Pennsylvania, and then now coming up right down the middle, threatening to kind of split up the vote, is a new candidate. How is Barnett able to, how was she able to gain so much momentum this late in the race?
The political dynamics here are intriguing because Dr. Mehmet Oz wins the Trump endorsement. And in some primaries, that would be more than enough to carry a candidate across the finish line. Then you had David McCormick, a favorite of traditional Republicans, the party establishment in Washington. He was also positioning himself in the race as an ally of the former president. And it was looking to be a 2-person race, McCormick versus Oz, even though Oz had the endorsement to be the favorite of the Trump coalition. But Trump voters in Pennsylvania, the base of the party in the Commonwealth, have had suspicions about both Oz and McCormick when it comes to their innate conservatism. Are they really Trump people in the eyes of the core supporters of the former president? And among those concerns, as those concerns have really developed, you've seen Kathy Barnett with a very strong message on abortion come forward from the conservative side, the hard right of the party, and emerge as a real contender in the final days.
So then, if former President Trump's endorsement is not enough to put Dr. Oz over the top. Can we read anything into that? Or, maybe the other candidates are somewhat flawed, and certainly Kathy Barnett, I mean, you can say a lot of things about her, but she's definitely very conservative.
Usually when a candidate endorses somebody, like former President Trump or a major political figure endorses somebody, and their candidate loses, it's seen as a defeat for their version of politics. That, for example, if Trump loses with his candidate in Pennsylvania, it would usually be seen as a defeat of Trumpism. But that's not the case here in Pennsylvania. It would be a test of his political capital today. Can he actually make candidates who are struggling, can he bring them to victory? But Trumpism still is pervasive inside the Republican Party in Pennsylvania and nationally. This is still a party that has been shaped by the former president, populist and nationalist, unapologetic about calling the 2020 election rigged, making false claims about it being stolen and rigged. This is all still part of the GOP. So win or lose today with Mehmet Oz, Trump remains a force to be reckoned with inside the GOP.
And I will say, it seemed, at least from what I've heard, the former president is shying away from being overly critical of Barnett, which I think maybe says something about how he feels the race may go. Robert, thank you very much.